What's up, guys? We're back with another video, and today we're talking about Texas, my home state of amazingness. I love Texas. It's great. It's better than just about any state I've ever lived in, and I've lived in quite a few states. Um, and quite honestly, it's one of the few states that has suffered the least when it comes to this whole coronavirus pandemic crap because we didn't shut down the way that New York and California did and destroy jobs. Now, we did shut down, and one of my favorite bars right down the street from me did close. And I went to the mall yesterday, and there's a lot of closed shops. And it's really sad. But by and large, we've gotten by pretty okay. And not as many people have lost their jobs here as other states. So I can be thankful for that. But Greg Abbott ends statewide mask mandate and moves to open Texas 100%. Actions are at odds with health experts, federal officials say. But guess what? Florida has also been opened quite a bit, and they have one of the highest populations of elderly, and I don't even think they're in the top 10 for worst or highest amount of COVID deaths. So now I'm gonna get to why this is long overdue in a moment, but let's read on. Uh, Abbott said Tuesday, on Texas Independence Day, I might add, it's time to open Texas 100% and end the statewide mask order, citing declining hospitalizations across the state as more people are vaccinated against the coronavirus. Abbott issued a new executive order, which will take effect March 10th and rescind most of his earlier orders, including restrictions on business occupancy and the July 2nd statewide mask order. To be clear, COVID has not suddenly disappeared, Abbott said. State mandates are no longer needed. Texas is in a far better position now than when I issued my last executive order back in October. Um, you know, cases spiked after he eased business restrictions in the fall, but back then we didn't have the vaccine, and you know, uh, now we've gotten a lot of people vaccinated. I believe Texas is the state that has the most people vaccinated so far. Um, And quite honestly, dude, nobody was following these rules anyway. Like a lot of people were not following. Like a lot of the people were not following these rules anyway. You know how many times I've gone to Walmart or Target or whatever, and people aren't wearing masks? Or hell, I went to Boomer Jack's last night. Nobody was wearing a mask. And guess what? That place was packed. And I mean, you can even look at you can go just about any restaurant, and even though they follow the supposed, the guidelines, I mean, the bar is going to be packed. The Nobody cares. Nobody's wearing a mask. The only people that were wearing a mask at Boomer Jack's last night literally was the servers. And that's not going to do anything because the mask doesn't protect you, it protects you from giving it to others, right? So if you've got a server that's going to four different tables and even one of those tables somebody has it, the server's not protected. What is the point of wearing the mask? And also, what is the point of wearing the mask walking through the restaurant when I'm walking through dozens of people who are not wearing masks to get to where I'm going to be sitting and also taking off my mask? Because the mask doesn't protect me, so why am I bothering to wear it? Like it doesn't make sense, okay? Now, am I saying don't wear a mask? No, I'm like if you are, immunocompromised or whatever, and there are people around you, they should wear a mask as well as you should wear a mask, obviously, and you should social distance. But like normal people, I don't see a reason for it. Um, uh, Public health experts and federal health officials said that the move comes too early and that the coronavirus still poses a grave danger, with not enough people vaccinated to significantly slow the disease's spread. Okay, but here's the thing: vaccinated doesn't necessarily even do anything. They said even that if you get the vaccine, you can still catch it and spread it. What's the point to the vaccine then? What's the point to the masks if they don't really work? Okay, combine that with the fact that I don't remember where I saw this, but somebody made a good point where they said, I believe it might have been Facebook, but they said, well, you're just thinking about the people that are vaccinated. You're not even including all the people who have had COVID and have recovered from it, and they themselves are essentially part of the herd immunity with the people who have been vaccinated, right? So there's probably millions of people who have gotten COVID, didn't even know they had it, and are fine. Then there's people that did get it and had gotten past it, right? Combine that with the vaccinated people, and it's like, what? Why are we still locked down? So I think this is a good move on the governor's part, and just because he's not mandating it anymore, which quite honestly I don't think he necessarily had the power to do, but it's a moot point anyway because it's going to be over next week anyway. But just because he's ending that doesn't mean that you can't wear a mask. If you feel like wearing a mask, go ahead, wear a mask. If you really are that much at risk, don't go out. Like it's up to you to protect yourself and take the precautions that you need to take. That's fine. You want to carry around hand sanitizer, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands, wear a mask, great. I'm not going to keep wearing a mask that has been pointless for months, and it just like it's just I no, I'm not going to. Just like dozens of hundreds of tech dozens of hundreds of Texans. That doesn't really no. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of Texans. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Hundreds of thousands of Texans that are going to feel the same. Okay? We're going back to 100% capacity. We're going back to normal life finally. Because I'm sorry, but it was originally 15 days to slow the spread, and we're getting up to about a year of 15 days to slow the spread. And Biden said that we might not even be getting back to normal till next summer. No, 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 no. That is ridiculous. That is too long. That is, I mean, it's too long now. Okay, no, thank you. That's ridiculous. Um, There's also a chance that some variants could be somewhat resistant to the vaccines. That comes with any of them. It comes with any type of disease. Look at the flu. I mean, the what was it the flu pandemic in I think it was 1917 or 1918. People wore masks back then too, and guess what? We still have the flu. Now, granted, it's not the exact same version of the flu, but it is the flu we have now is a less deadly strain of that type of flu. So, why exactly do you think that just because we get rid of this version of COVID that we're not going to have another version of COVID, even if we did continue to do the lockdowns and stuff? See, it won't ever end if you take that approach. Just like with the flu, there's a new strain every year, which is why they have to come out with a different vaccine just about every year. So there's no reason to keep us locked down. Okay? On Monday, Walensky warned that states should not lift coronavirus restrictions as the new, more contagious variant spread across the country. Texas will join 15 states that lifted mask mandates or never adopted one in the first place. Okay, yeah, of course we're going to get rid of something. There are plenty of other states that either lifted or never had them that are doing fine. Right now, in fact, I think the highest dead is in Michigan and New York. The totals are coming from there because they shoved people, COVID positive patients, into nursing homes and killed the elderly. So, which would I rather have? Shoving people into nursing homes or just going about my life? I'd much rather go about my life. If I had to choose freedom, killing old people, I'm gonna go with freedom. Because guess what? At least with the freedom option, you're not shoving sick people into nursing homes and killing the old people against their will. You're not like they have the free will to either go out or not go out. Anyway, please hear me clearly. At this level of cases with variant spreading, we stand to completely lose the hard earned ground we have gained. I'm really worried about reports that more states are rolling back the exact public health measures we've recommended to protect people from COVID-19. I'm sorry, but these a lot of these health measures didn't make sense. Like there was rules and restrictions about going to the beach alone. You weren't allowed to go. Why? What was that? There was restrictions about, oh, you can't use a motorized boat on the lake, but you can use a kayak. What's the why? What is the difference? Why? It's never really been about the public safety, especially with all the flip-flopping. I mean, Dr. Fauci was like, no masks, then masks, then I don't know about masks. Now he's on double masking. Like, pick one, man. So this whole thing's dumb. And I agree with lifting the mask mandate. Like I said, if you want to wear a mask, fine. Chances are a lot of businesses are still going to require you to wear a mask, and a lot of employers are going to make employees wear masks. So I don't necessarily think that this is going to change much in that aspect, but we'll have to see, you know. So shortly after Abbott spoke, the Texas Hospital Association issued a statement. Says, we know that it works. It protects healthcare workers and the people around you. More infectious variants are circulating in Texas. Millions more people need to be vaccinated. We should still be doing everything we can to protect each other. Okay, here's another thing that always bugs me, and I just thought of it right now. They're always like, oh my God, if you reopen, more people are going to die. Yeah, that's kind of how that works. You realize that no matter how long you stay locked down, the disease could be like essentially wiped out, right? And then you reopen and people are going to get it. Do you want to know why? It's because people can be asymptomatic carriers. They can be uh, uh, going around not knowing they have it at home, feel fine. Everybody's like, oh, it's gone now. And then it takes one person to start the spread again. And that's just the natural progression of diseases. Like, as soon as we reopen and go to full capacity in some of these other states that have harsher restrictions, guess what's going to go up? Every disease that can be transmitted. You're going to have increased levels of coronavirus, the flu, STDs, like all of the things that have gotten less under the lockdowns will go back up. Like it's just logical. The more people that are out doing things to each other, with each other, near each other, the more likely diseases are going to be able to spread. That is just how it works. It's literally impossible to keep diseases from spreading. So, I mean, you can lessen it, but you can't ever prevent it 100%. So, no matter how many or how long you do these lockdowns for, when you reopen, it is inevitable that these things will come back. Maybe not at the same levels, but they definitely will come back. And it'll come back in what looks like increased levels because there's always going to be a spike whenever you reopen. So I hate the argument of like, oh, there's a spike after reopening. It's like, yes, that's logical. That's what would happen. It's literally look at every other disease and you'll find a similar spike. So just the arguments are so dumb. Um so Regardless, we're still seeing too many new cases and people in the hospital, and any rebound from now would be a problem. We're making good progress in getting people vaccinated and still need people to take precautions as that continues. Look, I'm not saying not to take precautions. I'm just saying that a lot of the rules that have been put in place didn't really make that much sense, you know? Um, I like right here. Perfect. Right here. Abbott said Tuesday that business owners can continue to require masks on their premises, restrict occupancy, and impose other coronavirus safety measures, but that local governments cannot force them to do so. It is their business and they get to choose to operate their business the way they want to. At this time, however, people and businesses don't need the state telling them how to operate. Thank you. Thank you. That is how it should have been from the start, man. It should have been voluntary from the start because I don't think that it's the state uh, that the state has a place in telling you what to do unless it is extremely warranted, like national emergency type shit. And this, in my opinion, was not emergency type. Okay, this is just like a bad version of the flu. A little bit more lethal, but not near it was not the bubonic plague. It was not smallpox or polio or measles or like these wasn't Ebola. Like it's not like this hugely deadly disease. Like can it be deadly? Yes, but like it wasn't like world ending type pandemic type, okay? So the fact that these state governments just ran to seize power, I mean, and that's why I like Texas and Florida and some of the other states that were like, you know what, we're not gonna go so hardcore into it. Now, did I disagree with the masks and everything? Yeah, a little bit, but I didn't see it as that much of a big deal. I didn't like them telling me what to do, but quite honestly, like he said here, these businesses can require it. So regardless of whether or not the government was telling you to do it, the businesses were still going to enforce it anyway. So the fact that the government said it too, it was just like whatever, because the businesses were going to require it anyway. You know, it'd be like if businesses started requiring you to wear polka dot shirts and you were just like, well, I don't want to wear a polka dot shirt, but they required it anyway. And then the next day, the government was just like, yeah, we're just gonna do a temporary order that says you have to wear polka dot shirts. Well, what does it matter at that point? All these businesses were requiring it anyway. Anyway, so Abbott, who is fully vaccinated, made the announcement. Um, as a room full of people, most not wearing masks, applauded each pronouncement. Okay, yeah, nobody at restaurants are wearing masks. Did you know there were I don't remember what state it was in, but there was a service announcement that was like you're supposed to, put your mask on in between bites of food. Like how ridiculous is that? Like I really never understood the wearing the masks into the restaurants thing at all, but whatever. Um Now Texans have mastered the daily habits to avoid getting COVID. Abbott touted the state's vaccination rollout, and hours before the event, he said the increased vaccinations are a big reason why the number of COVID patients continues to decline, now below 6,000 statewide. Today, Texas will report a new one-day record for the number of people vaccines, more than 216,000. We're now providing more than 1 million vaccines a week. This is a big reason why hospitalizations are at the lowest level in 4 months. Most Texas businesses, including restaurants, have been required to keep occupancy rates at 75%. So really, we've been at quite a high occupancy this whole time. So, whatever. Businesses in areas where coronavirus patients make up more than 15% of available beds had to be at 50%. Bars in those areas had to close and uh, elective medical procedures halted. 2 months ago, much of the state was under those restrictions. As of Friday, uh, as of Friday, no region exceeded the 15% threshold. So really, our state's been getting better, and I agree. I agree with lifting these restrictions because there's no reason for them, especially when, like I said, businesses are going to require them anyway. So why does the government feel the need to step in. You know, um, health experts obviously have a problem with this. Um, it's really up to you. That's what it comes down to. And I like that they focus on Texas though, when even like up here, where was it? It said that was it 15 other states that either lifted the mask mandates or never adopted them in the first place. Like, you know, people are so upset that Texas is going back to 100% occupancy, and yet uh, other states have been doing similar things, and they're not the front page news. I have a feeling that it has to do with the fact that the whole Ted Cruz thing happened and the power outage, that Texas has just been in the forefront, and so they're picking on Texas, but whatever. I could care less. Anyway, alrighty, guys, that's really all I got for this story. If you guys enjoyed what I had to say, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe and share this video. And if you guys feel so inclined, YouTube isn't really letting me monetize my stuff. Um, so if you put out a good word for my channel, that would be greatly appreciated. If you would suggest it to people, that'd be great. I really want to grow this channel, but I need your help, my viewers, to help get more viewers in order to be able to get to a level that I want to be at. I want to be able to do, some more editing, some more interesting videos. I want to be able to go out on the road, interview people, stuff like that. So, any help that I can get from you guys is greatly appreciated. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it and have a good one.